Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast from Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Thursday, September the 18th, 2025, in the 14th week after Pentecost during the season of ordinary time. This is a time for us to live an extraordinary disciplined life as we grow spiritually. The lectionary reading is from the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. Its title comes from the central event in the book, the deliverance from slavery and the exodus or departure of the Israelite nation from Egypt by the hand of the Lord God of their ancestors. Moses, the author of the book of Exodus, was also the one who rescued them and had been appointed by the Lord God to guide them to the promised land. They were now living in the desert in preparation, and God provided laws, detailed instructions on how the people should live together as God intended to live among them. The lectionary reading is Exodus chapter 23, verses 1 to 9, which covers laws about honesty and justice. These laws were meant for the judges as they handle cases brought before them. The people had lived under a judicial system that was both corrupt and perverted. People lied, spreading gossip while joining others as malicious witnesses. The first law given was for them not to do this. Usually, we end up spreading gossip and doing what is wrong when we follow the crowd. God's law told them to do what was right, no matter what others were doing. If it was evil, they shouldn't join in because that would corrupt justice. It might seem we are biased and favor the rich, but God's law also states not to show favoritism towards a poor person. This law aims to prevent judges from sympathizing with the poor and punishing the wealthy excessively in lawsuits. The judge was to treat both the poor and the wealthy person justly and fairly. The next law addressed how to show kindness to your enemy's animal if they had strayed and you found them. You were instructed to return the animal to your enemy. And also, if your enemy has a donkey with a heavy load that it cannot carry, you should help by relieving the burden from the donkey. Now back to the judicial system. The people were to treat each other fairly in court to ensure impartial judgments. They were not to accept bribes because a bribe will blind the clear sightedness and corrupt people's words. There was also a law to protect the foreigners who would be living among them. They were to treat them with kindness and fairness. God reminded them that they were never to forget that they too had been living as foreigners in Egypt. These laws given to Moses by God were necessary for the people. These laws were grounded on the principles of truth, impartial, impartiality, and compassion. And these laws reflected God's own character. In 2025, we too need to follow these guidelines so that we can live our lives in the mercy and grace of God.